So good morning. Being 9 a.m., I'll call to order the McHenry County Board Committee of the Whole meeting of December 15th, 2022. And Mr. Kunkel will lead us in the pledge this morning.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kathy, could you call the roll, please?
Pamela Altoff.
Present.
Carolyn Campbell.
Here.
Joseph Gottemahler. Terry Greeno.
Here.
Eric Hendricks.
Here.
Carl Kosminski.
Present.
James Kearns.
Here.
Matthew Kunkel.
Here.
Teresa Meshes.
Here.
Lou Ness.
Here.
John Reinhardt.
Here.
Brian Sager.
Here.
Michael Shorten.
Here.
Michael Scala.
Present.
Larry Smith.
Here.
Gloria Van Hoff.
Present.
Tracy Von Bergen.
Here.
Kelly Wegner.
Here.
Chairman Bueller.
Here. Having a quorum, we'll proceed. Good morning. I have some items to share with you before we begin reviewing the agenda for next Tuesday's voting meeting. This month's meeting is going to be unique in that the agenda is a short one, but none of the items I have on it, none of the items on it have been reviewed at the committee level, so feel free as always to ask questions. And first off this morning, thank you to all of you who submitted your names to volunteer for appointments as county board liaisons to area boards and commissions. I will be spending this weekend reviewing them, and you will hear from me shortly. After 2 days of packing, moving, and unpacking, I'm happy to report that the Regional Office of Education reopened for business yesterday at its new home at 408 South Route 31 in McHenry. The larger office will allow the ROE to incorporate a Pearson testing lab that will allow it to administer GED exams, as well as more than 200 other education industry exams. In the first quarter of next year, our finance department will be sliding down the hall to take that space. The county administration will keep us posted. Last month, the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus unanimously selected Cary Mayor Mark Kaunick as its next chairman. The caucus represents about 275 Chicago area municipalities to act as a forum to work on common sense issues and improve quality of life for residents throughout the region. Having partnered with the Village of Cary to forge an intergovernmental agreement to turn the old Village Hall into a police training center and to build a new law enforcement indoor shooting range on vacant land held by the Public Works Department, we can testify that Mr. Kaunick is a great choice to head a group tasked with working collaboratively to get things done. Congratulations, Mayor Kaunick, and best of luck. I'd also like to congratulate Naturally McHenry County for winning top honors from the annual Illinois Governor's Office on Tourism Awards. They won the award in their category for Best Printed Collateral for their 2022 Insider Guide. Besides the fact that it looks great and catches the eye, it was the first to incorporate the new branding that Naturally McHenry County, our county government, and the McHenry County Economic Development Corporation now use. And finally, this morning, I'd like to remind the county board that there will be no committee meetings until January because of the Christmas and New Year's holidays falling on the last week of December. And that's all I have this morning, although I was reminded that under the updated county board rules, my comments are now followed by board members' comments and then public comment. After that, we will bring up Comcast to officially receive their generous award of laptop computers to help clients of several of our social service agencies find jobs and job training. So with that, do any members have comments this morning? Seeing none, we'll move on to public comment. Are there any public comments? Terry Capel?
Good morning. My name's Terry Capel. I've been a longtime resident of McHenry County since 1971, save for 4 years. I'd like to talk about public transportation in our county. I was here and using public transportation when it first was implemented, the scheduled route service bus back in the late 70s under the Carter administration. We had hourly buses all day long from 5 in the morning through 7 o'clock hour. And now we have more than double the population, but we have a less effective and less useful public transportation system in our county. There are, for most of the route buses that we have, you have 2 or 3 buses in the morning, 2 or 3 buses in the afternoon, and a big window of 5 or 6 hours in between. So if somebody needs to use the bus to go to a doctor's appointment, they may be sitting and waiting for 5 hours for the next bus to go home. That's impractical, and in bad weather, inclement weather, it can be even life-threatening. Bus service adds dollars to our, for the investment adds to our economy. I'll plan on bringing up this topic quite a few times in the future, so I'll add data as I go along. But I think that for anyone who has had to rely on bus service in this county, the dial-a-ride system is woefully inadequate, and many times if you call for a bus, you have to call the day before or sometimes before that, and oftentimes you're told you can't get bus service to and from your appointment. So I think the county is long overdue for revisiting this to expand bus service. It makes the lives of people who depend on it, who have no other way to get to and from appointments, to do grocery shopping, to go to restaurants. It makes their lives fuller, and it adds to our economy. So I hope you'll consider expanding our bus service in this county. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all we have for public comments today. Reports and presentations, Mr. Jeffrey Pointner and Joan Sage from Comcast.
Good morning. We're here this morning to thank Comcast for their generous gift of 20 Dell laptops that are helping job seekers with their educational and job search efforts. I wanted to acknowledge Jamie Maravich, the president of United Way, and County Administrator Pete Austin for making this connection with Joan Sage of Comcast. Comcast gifted these laptops, providing computer access to help those for whom technology is an obstacle to employment or training. Workforce Network identified individual customers and organizations who could benefit from these computers. Comcast also has an Internet Essentials program that offers reduced cost internet access. This, along with a federal affordable connectivity program available to qualifying individuals, may reduce the monthly internet access cost to zero, making technology truly accessible for those most in need. By joining forces with community partners here in McHenry County, we broaden the impact of the Comcast gift of these laptops. Last Chance, New Directions, Refuge for Women, and Wish House are receiving 2 laptops each for use by their participants to assist in their training and job search efforts. Many of these participants are also Workforce Network customers. Sharing this gift from Comcast with these partnering organizations expands the impact to the residents of McHenry County. I did want to say thank you to Joan and Comcast for making this gift available to the residents of McHenry County.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jeff, and thank you also to Administrator Austin, who helped orchestrate all of this. And then, of course, to you, Chairman, and all of you county board members, the work that you do on behalf of our residents is just wonderful. It's appreciated more than you may realize. Over a decade ago, Comcast started a program called Internet Essentials. The goal was to connect those who did not have access to the internet, and in particular, those who were income constrained. Over that over 10-year period, in Illinois alone, we've connected over 1.9 million individuals. Comcast has made a new commitment for another 10 years, and across the country, $1 billion we will invest to expand this program. So for $9.95, individuals can get our service. When we started it 10 years ago, it was 6/1, the speed. Over the years, we've increased it, and with COVID, it went to 25/3. Now for $9.95, it is 50/10. Because many homes have multiple devices, we do have a $29.95 program that is 100/20. But with the Affordable Connectivity Program, as Jeff mentioned, with the federal government, there's a $30 credit. So as Jeff said, folks can get the internet for free. And this is an opportunity that we hope that you will help us share the word about it. All of the county board members, you have a flyer that does explain the program, and also you have my business card with my cell phone on it. So if you need to reach me for anything related to this, or really anything that is cable related, please feel free to contact me. We commend the work of the Workforce Network for what they're doing. I think all of us in this room understand the importance of work and how it adds to the economy, but to the self-respect that each of us have in doing our work. So helping others, giving them a hand up to do that is something that we all can partake in. And we appreciate the organizations which are going to be coming up here. They each will be receiving 2 computers to share with their folks. Something else, in addition to the computers, Comcast will be making a financial donation of $5,000 to expand digital literacy training. So we're excited about that as well. It's important, we feel, that Comcast, we as an organization, give back to our communities where we do business and to help those in need. So thank you so much for all that you do.
As I mentioned, we distributed some of these laptops to Workforce Network customers who are in need. And we have some thank yous here for you to read. I did want to read one of them to you. Please use the mic for the internet. Okay. I did want to read one of the thank yous to you. Our career advisor handed this laptop out to one of the job seekers who comes in and uses our services regularly. He is constrained by public transportation. And when Justin handed this laptop to him, he says, well, when do I need to give it back? And Justin said, no, this is for your personal use, it is yours. And he was stymied, and he almost went to tears. So he immediately picked up a pen and said, I want to write a thank you note. He said, to the generous people at Comcast, I just want to express my deepest appreciation of your donation of the Dell laptop. It will help me immensely in pursuing my goals at Workforce County. So God bless and happy holidays, Robert. So these laptops are making a big impact, whether it's for individuals or whether it's for the organizations here. So thank you. With that, we'd like to call up the representatives from Last Chance, New Directions, Refuge for Women, and Wish House, who will be receiving laptops. Come on up, folks, please. So. Go back to your organization.
Hi, everybody. I am the Executive Director at Refuge for Women Chicago. My name is Meredith Hodge, and I want to thank you all. I want to thank Comcast and Workforce and United Way for these gifts. We are an organization that provides long-term restorative aftercare for women who have been sex trafficked and sexually exploited. And so certainly there's overlap with homelessness, addiction, domestic violence, mental health issues. And so we just opened our second home, our transitional living home this summer. And so this is for women who have graduated our program. And so as we are launching this new program and this initiative while she's working, while she is working on her education as well, these laptops will serve her as well as the women coming in after her. To give you a little bit of a scope, this is a 42-year-old woman who has been living on the streets for about 30 years and has been trafficked, exploited. She is now working in the county, and she just got promoted to assistant manager here in the county where she works. And so she does still need some training and learning how to use the internet and that, but this is going to be a huge help for her. So thank you all for your support.
My name is Sue Burns. I didn't know I had to talk, so I work for the Wish House, and Diane has been having the Wish House for many years. She helps women who are coming out of rehabilitation and want to do so much more. And these computers will help because they do look for jobs, and we really appreciate Comcast, United Way, and the Workforce, because these women come from all different walks of life, and we do try to help them in the next step to help them go on to jobs and get back with their family and many more. So Diane Galzane has been helping these women for many years. So I'm really happy to be part of this, and I really thank you, and happy holidays.
My name is Bobby Gattone. I'm the director at New Directions Addiction Recovery Services. So we currently offer 63 beds of supportive sober living across Woodstock and Crystal Lake. And we work closely with the Workforce Network whenever possible. We've always had, I always tell Tom, we've had a lot of success getting people job placement. It's over 90% of the people that come into our sober living. Our case managers help them with job placement over the first couple of weeks. What we're really trying to do now is get people over that next hump so they're not stuck at a entry-level job or a temp job for too long, and to encourage people to go back to college, to further a career as they start a new life in sobriety. So we've started some new initiatives like an annual grant program to help people pay for college that are in our housing. We've also done a lot of workforce development in-house. We've hired 9 individuals from our residential program onto our staff. A couple of them are actually in management at this point that have worked their way up over the years and get training along the way. We're really grateful for this opportunity with the laptop. I know of a few individuals offhand that are doing like virtual counseling appointments. We have folks that come in and they get offers for virtual job interviews, and they're having to do it from their phone. And they have a ton of use for this kind of thing. So we're really grateful for the support. Thanks.
Hi, my name's Bob Langland, representing the Last Chance House, and we are sober living for males, and been around since 1997, and these laptops are going to be tremendous just to help our people. Everyone is required to be employed when they come in, and trying to do a resume on your phone isn't as conducive, obviously, as a computer, and not to mention all the Zoom meetings and that. So thank you all that are involved. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Comcast, for your generator.
It is just our pleasure. You may have seen on the boxes, UP, the UP project, and I think the cookies say that. It is for unlimited possibilities, and that is the focus. And that thank you note is why we do this.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we'll move on to new business. Do any members have agenda items they'd like to remove for discussion? Ms. Wegner.
10.b.1, please.
Ms. Meshes?
13I, and then I can't find which marking is for the resolution for professional staffing. So it's on our desk, but resolution for purchases of professional staffing and leasing services over 30,000 by the County Department of Health to continue contractual staffing for the fiscal year 23.
That is not on your agenda yet. And that's why it's on your desk.
Yes.
Yeah, that arrived late. I need to apologize. There's 3 resolutions on your desk that are not on your agenda. They will be on your agenda when it's reposted this afternoon or tomorrow. But because of our odd schedule this time and no committees, so we did have 3 items that arrived late, and that is one of them.
Do we have someone here from the health department that we can discuss this today?
Yes.
We'll take that one last. Mr. Smith?
10.A.3.
Any others? Seeing none? Mr. Smith, 10A3.
Thank you. At the last Planning, Environmental, and Development Committee, we talked about going into January and reviewing and looking at the ancillary dwelling ordinance. Excuse me, I got a little sore throat this morning. And I think it would be, this is a variation to go from 900 square feet to 1,100 square feet. There's been a couple of objections from the neighbors. There's a shared driveway that is of concern to one of the neighbors. And I don't know if there's a shared driveway agreement. And with that and the fact that we're going to be reviewing the ancillary dwelling ordinance in January, I think I'll be asking to move this back to committee so we can review it further. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Ms. Wegner, 10B1.
Thank you. I have some concerns about this one. Obviously, it did not pass unanimously through the zoning committee, especially because right now there's a bowling alley, there is a truck training facility, and then there are acres and acres of trees. And one of the comments the petitioner made was that the current owners of the property could cut down those trees anytime. That doesn't mean he's going to, and so I just have concerns about cutting so many trees away from, so there's a neighborhood, the trees are a big buffer to all of the busy intersection noise. So I just would like to hear from somebody on the zoning committee who voted yes, or I guess who voted no. If somebody's here that could speak a little bit to this and just give an opinion. And these are objections, yes.
You know, I don't have anybody from ZBA here knowingly, but so I don't have that. In terms of what you have, yeah, there are objections. I do apologize. That was something that we added late upon review yesterday and some discussion that we had with another board member. So we did send those out. If you have questions on those objections, there's 6 that are of objections that are contiguous to the property. Those are the ones that drive the 3/4 majority vote. So that would be the update I would give you on that.
Okay, all right. Because I do have other neighbors around there who are not contiguous, but that have objections also. That is a intersection that's been developed in the past, 10, 15 years. And I do have concerns for the people who still live there. So I will be talking to neighbors further. Thank you.
Mr. Gottemaler.
Yeah, on that same item, the issue, the neighbors, if 20%, under the state statute, if 20% of the neighboring property owners object, they can force a 3/4 vote. It works not on conditional uses, but it's only on zoning variations and zoning changes or map amendments. That's what's before you, and that's why this will require, and I don't remember whether it's 13 or 14 now because of the change. I think it's 14 people, yes, to have this approved. Again, I'm not telling you how to vote on it. I just want you to understand why the vote is why the number is required. And for whatever it's worth, yeah, I too have concerns about this. This is, right. It's the kind of thing I would have expected a petitioner to work a deal out with the neighbors to allow some of that buffer to remain. And apparently that hasn't happened, and that's why we're here today with an objection.
Thank you. Seeing no.
One more thing. I just wanted to know if the petitioner was in the audience today. Okay. It might behoove him to be here on Tuesday evening, if he's listening.
Thank you. Seeing no further comment on that item, Ms. Meshes, 13I.
Thank you. So I was interested in knowing how was Warp Corps chosen to receive this grant money?
Can you flip that on?
You can turn it on.
Do you see where the switch is?
Flip it towards you, the switch on top.
How's that? Oh, awesome. All right. Good morning, everyone. For the record, I'm Hans Mock, Community Development Administrator. I work within the Department of Planning and Development. As it turns out, Warp Corps has a gap in funding at this time. The gap of funding will begin roughly on January 1st. In consideration of the fact that the homeless population is vulnerable, a thought process would be to come to the board to request to use some interest funds from the ARPA allocation to bridge them over for 3-month period. So this obviously is something that has not been decided. We're coming here to bring it to the board's attention. Our homeless population is assisted by street outreach with accessing services. Typically, they need to develop a level of trust with the individual and work them on to the next level, which typically would involve emergency or transitional shelter. So the thought here is getting through the cold winter months and bridging over to April 1st.
Are there any other gaps in any of our agencies that we generally serve through, the different grants that we offer?
Yes, absolutely. Affordable housing. That's one of the biggest gaps we have. And so we have a severe lack. I think 6,000-7,000 units of affordable housing is the gap. Obviously, that's not something that we can easily attain, but that's something that we continually are working on and is definitely a motivating factor for our work. But that would be the utmost need that we have.
I should add, Warp Corps they're essentially continuing what they're doing. They've been doing this all year. They came to us maybe early October, kind of seeing that this gap was going to present itself between January 1st and March 31st, and approached the mental health board. I see Leo is in the audience today, and she's supportive of this funding. But they approached the mental health board in terms of maybe trying to find a solution there. Weren't able to do that because of the guidelines that the mental health board has. I think Hans and Kevin got kind of creative in finding this solution. It's essentially found money in its interest that we've got, from our American Rescue Plan dollars,
It's a very short-term solution. It's a very minor solution, but it is important to work for and to our homeless population.
Well, I mean, for the record, I am supportive. Just wanted to make sure that we discussed how they were chosen and then the following questions. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Meshes. And then the last item, the resolution for the staffing and leasing services, Ms. Meshes.
Thank you. So, was there competitive bidding for this contract?
Yes, there was. It was done last year. It's actually done through Valley High, and we allow cooperative purchasing, so the health department's just trying to sync up with the Valley High contracts.
Is this, pardon me, I should read fully, but is this just for Valley High, or is this also for other parts of the Department of Health?
This is for the health department. This is
Just-
independent,
oh,
just the health department, independent of Valley High, but Worldwide Staffing is capable of providing services to both those parts of the county.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. No other items removed. Pete, you got a report for us today?
Here I am. Yes, I do. Thank you. So yesterday afternoon, late, I emailed out a quarterly county administrator report. It's significant. I'm thanking my editor-in-chief here, Scott, and Kathy. They helped me out, and I'm always appreciative of all of your elected offices and department heads for getting us this content. So as it's big, but as you have time in the next several days, please take a look at it. There's a lot of good information in there. But a couple other things that are not in the report that I do want to mention this morning. And the first is I wanted to go back to our Advanced McHenry County program. That's been our kind of really innovative and forward-thinking program to get our American Rescue dollars into the community. We've taken a little bit of a pause as we seated a new board and adopted a 23 budget, but we're going to get back into that at Finance Committee right away in January. And we do have about $14 million left to allocate, and we've got more than $14 million worth of requests, so I'm anxious to get going on that. One of the things that we funded last year was a really innovative program to get high school seniors into manufacturing internships over the summer. And I'm very pleased to report I've been involved with the Manufacturing Pathways program here in the county, and they are fired up to do it again this summer. So we funded last summer. We're going to help fund next summer and the summer thereafter. So that's happening. We've funded over well, it was $770,000, I think, is what we put in, but that was able to support over 100 high school interns last summer, and we're looking to do that again. We've got the manufacturers lined up, and things are happening again, so I'm excited to say that's going to go again. I also wanted to note yesterday was a very big day in terms of the county's preparation for the pretrial fairness component of the Safety Act. And this no cash bond is happening. It's starting on January 1st, we believe. And we hosted a meeting yesterday at the college with, I don't know where Rob left here, but I think I'm just roughly 60 police chiefs and deputy deputy chiefs. I mean, it was a very, very full room of law enforcement. And the state's attorney's office did a really good presentation on what this is going to mean for law enforcement and the decisions that need to be made on the street and in the police station, and then maybe ultimately those who are going to be booked. So it was a really good presentation. I want you to know that this is happening. The state has modified some of the legislation, and it's added more definition to what is a detainable offense. It's expanded those definitions of what are detainable offenses, but there still is a lot of questions, and more answers are forthcoming. But the modifications that were made in Springfield in recent weeks, I think everyone views as positive. Not everybody's satisfied, but I think things are moving in the right direction. We then left that meeting yesterday morning at the college and had another meeting yesterday afternoon here at the courthouse for our own practitioners, those that run the court system. Chairman Bueller was eager to and able to be part of that meeting as well. Chief Judge Camille kind of led that discussion, but we had again a room full of people who are in our court system who are kind of on that next step. Now that someone has been brought and booked here in Woodstock, what's happening in that 48 hours where they're, going to need to be, heard and made a decision made on their detention. So really good meeting. I just wanted you to know that all that is taking place. There's more to come, and we're going to be hearing about this more in the months coming. But there's a lot of really bright people working on a very complicated issue, and I just wanted to share that. A couple other lighter notes. Now that your new board members are on the county board, you're seeing that I'm sending out almost daily an email called Capital Facts. It's just an update for what's happening in Springfield, but I find it to be pretty informative. It says on there, don't forward, so please don't forward it. We have an account that allows me to send out, I think, about 25 of those, so I'm not breaking any rules, but just know that you need to keep it with you, but that's an important thing. I have lanyards here for anybody who wants a lanyard for your badge, so just know that those are here. Couple other things. Wellness screenings. For county board members that are part of our health insurance program, please know that you are entitled to a wellness screening. We did over 300 of those so far in December. We're striving to get to 500. We get more money from our insurance cooperative if we get to 500, and we're on track. We have 360 appointments scheduled, and we have a bunch more appointments in January. So if you are part of the health insurance program, please take advantage of that. And it's important to us to get to 500, and I think we're on track. This afternoon, well, starting at 11:30, is our employee holiday luncheon. Those of you who are around, if you're able to hang around, we'd love to have you there, and you're very welcome. I think the last thing I'm going to mention, Carla Wyckoff. Carla? Carla. Carla has been our champion parliamentarian from the state's attorney's office to the civil division, but it's going to be her last week or last month, so next meeting is going to be her last one. So, yeah, so just want to thank Carla. She's been really an immeasurable assistance to us, and we're going to sad to say goodbye to her. So that's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you, Carla. No need for executive session. With that, or Ms. Altoff, I apologize.
That's okay. May I, Peter, can I ask, just for those of us who have constituencies that are very interested in the remaining 14 million, have we set up any new parameters on how we're going to look at allocating those funds?
I wouldn't say new parameters. What we have, again, we roughly 14 million. We have 5 or 6 traditional community groups that have scored well, and we need to revisit those with the finance committee. That would use maybe another 5 million, right? And then we've got a bunch of water sewer projects that are in the queue. And we're that's where I think the finance committee needs to help us, put some of those parameters on. What's a maximum award? If we set that maximum award lower, obviously we can fund more of those projects. How many people are we touching with those water sewer projects? Those are some of the issues that we have out there. We've got a little bit of guidance from previous finance committee when we hit pause back in September, but I think those are the subjects we need to revisit right away when we get to finance committee in January. Additionally, and this is an important part, we're making, our guests from Comcast have left, but the Comcast is making more of an investment in fiber in the county. But there are other private entities that are really looking to make some significant input into the county. With Shaylin Daigle, your county coordinator, and myself and Adam, we've been able to secure, I think, 17 letters of support from school districts and municipalities and townships and the Farm Bureau and our fiber network. And so we're really mustering a lot of support there for this fiber investment. The phase 3 of Connect Illinois is set to be open again in the latter part of January, and we're wanting to partner with a couple of private entities to really jump on those dollars to get our rural parts of McHenry County hardwired. We may need a little bit of that remaining 15 million to make some of the match dollars. When I say a little bit, 2 or 3 million. So that's my long way of saying we need to hold back, I think, 2 or 3 million of those dollars to help facilitate those matches there as well. That is one of the priorities of those American Rescue dollars was, to work on fiber connections. So that's again, another way of helping on that.
Thank you. I just wanted to inform the rest of the
You got
new
more than
board
you-
members
you
on
got
it.
more
No,
than you
no,
bargained
no.
for.
That's it. No, that's why I asked the question, though, is to get a little historical with where we've kind of talked about allocating some of those funds. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sure. I think it's important to note, I mean, the work that we've done over the last 2 years with the fiber initiative and according to our strategic plan has been very helpful in having us be ready for when that window reopens, and we are going to be hopefully ahead of the game of some of the other people who are requesting those funds.
Adam was communicating yesterday with a couple of these private entities to say, we are ready to go. Get your act together. We want those applications in.
So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Gottemoller, seconded by Mr. Shorten. All in favor say aye.